Listening to another episode of Mr. Allard's Neighborhood. This is the place where you're entitled to Brad's opinion. And now for your host, Brad Allard.
Well, we're back for another wonderful show. Hey, Taylor, what number show is this?
This is, I think I just typed it in, 553.
553.
You've done a couple.
Good for you.
Yes. They never said I'd make it. They said it would fail.
They said I was going to be a loser, and here I am.
Well, they'll say, you're still a loser, Allard. But,
I never said you were a loser.
No. But 553, I'm pleased with that. We're God willing, we'll keep doing this, but particularly got election season coming on. So I'm going to ask you all the election questions.
No, I will lovingly decline to answer on a lot of political questions.
I'm not going to ask you anything like that. But we have Lisa Schwarz here, whom everybody knows in town. You're about the most famous person in town, practically.
Stop it.
Well, I'm just saying, everybody knows you are. I don't need to go through a long, lengthy
She said,
introduction.
stop it. What was that again?
But for real.
Oh, it's just my good side, but to go on, please. Anyway, we're going to talk about what's going on. It's been about 3 months since we talked.
Yeah.
It's
been a whole year.
I get it.
Where's my bottom chink? There you go.
As you were saying.
But you tell me you have plans.
Yeah.
Other than just the city on the hill.
Yeah.
Okay,
so we every year.
Wait.
Okay. You go ahead.
I got to talk about the sponsors.
Okay.
They get really testy.
All right.
They said,
should give them a shout out.
Yeah. Okay. Otto at our place. I'm going to have Otto on probably early March. I'm booked entirely now for February because it is candidate season and whatnot. And he's opening up Gina's Pizza, and so he's going to come on and talk about that.
I did not know that.
You didn't know he was? He bought it and opened. He's going to open it up in about 5
Wait, where's
weeks.
that located at?
The one on Renfro. The old Gina's Pizza's been there forever and ever.
Oh,
Do you know?
Yeah, by CVS.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's the first place Robin and I
Let's
ever
go,
ate.
Otto.
In
It's
Burleson.
one of the best pizza places in Burleson.
Yeah, it will be
Look, I'm
certainly.
going to tell you that he donated the pecan pie for the last chamber luncheon, and it was the best, other than my daughter who makes pecan pie. It was the best pecan pie I've ever had in my entire life.
Yes, he did that. I think last time
I
he was
sent him a
here.
selfie of me with my mouth wide open, eating a bite of the pie. I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah. Last time he was on the show, it's been a little while. He brought cookies and pecan pie, and I can only have a little bit because of my diabetes. But Robin said it was
That's
fantastic.
too bad. You can't just give yourself an extra shot of something.
I'd done that before. No, I had a small piece,
Okay,
and so,
okay.
but we actually, Robin loved it, and we actually had her sister and her husband over, and they loved it too. So our place, the place, it's a wonderful place. So thank you, Otto, for all what you do. Also, thank you to Wild Cigar and Culture. I'll be going by there in a couple of days, find out what their Super Bowl plans are. That's it's been another disappointing season for the Cowboys, but what do you expect? Is it really disappointing if you don't have any expectations at all? I guess you have to. That's very philosophical.
Again, a decline to answer from Lisa.
Anyway,
Hey, Taylor Swift made the Super Bowl. I mean, the Chiefs.
I used to really like the Chiefs, but this Kelsey Swift thing is wearing me out. But anyway, But anyway, back to Wild Cigar. They're actually paying for this, not Kelsey. But anyway, so Wild Cigar and Culture. Go there, watch the game, get yourself a decent cigar or whatnot. They got all sorts of stuff going on. They got a lot of vendors that come by for specials. So if you're into cigars, or you'd like to get introduced to cigars, they're really good about that. So Wild Cigar and Culture over at the Standard. Also, a friend Tiffany Nico, she'll be on in early March because she's got the pub crawl coming up on, I believe, the 16th. And I'm always joking about, St. Patrick's Day and Cinco de Mayo are very similar holidays in one aspect, is that the whitest of gringos gets all excited about it, their Hispanic heritage. What is it? It's an excuse to drink beer. And then you have the same thing at St. Patrick's Day. We got people have no idea where Ireland is on the map, but boy, howdy. Begorra, they're Irish one day at least. So Local Life magazine will be out, and it's probably this week. She likes to mail them out on the last day of the month. And so you should have it by this weekend. Also, thank you to Southern Gym. They're open again. It's got to take Brad there because it's Valentine's Day, right? Yeah.
We'll be in France for Valentine's Day.
Please. What? Okay. I see. Suffering.
We'll be in France.
We'll be
for
in
Valentine's
France.
Day.
Yeah. Well, is it a special occasion or just decided to go?
No, I mean, my birthday falls on that time frame, but also Valentine's Day. But no, we just about every 5 or 6 years we try and do an international trip, and so this is it. We were actually planning on going to the Holy Lands, and
that's not good. No.
We had to make a quick adjustment on that.
No.
So
my idea of going to on a foreign trip is maybe Olive Garden. I don't know, but hey,
it's going to be a long hour.
Yes, I know. But anyway, Southern Jim's going to have an event.
Yeah.
A week from Thursday, they're going to have a bourbon and bling thing.
Okay.
They go there.
Okay, now see that I could get Brad to go to.
You betcha.
Hey, Brad, are you listening? Are you listening, Brad? Bourbon and bling, baby.
Yes, 4 to 7. And I always am impressed with what a hostess Gayla is. She's very Southern, very Texan, and so it's not going to be the bottom shelf stuff either. It's going to be the good stuff, and I believe, if I understand right, Wild will be there as well, and so kind of.
Yeah, they're probably bringing the bourbon.
Yeah, I think so. And Chris knows. He's really good about cigars and bourbon. I haven't had Chris on in a long time, but when you talk about cigars, he talks about like a lot of people talk about wine, and it's it's a whole culture to it.
Yeah.
And so anyway, it's going to be very nice. But Valentine's Day is coming. Just when you think you're out of the woods on Christmas, boom.
Yeah.
There's Valentine's Day. I think this is a conspiracy
Against men.
But Southern Jim over at the Standard next to the Revelry. Also, this is a new one. Two Maids. Yeah, they're part of my B&I group, Brenda Ramirez, and basically they will do homes, office spaces, industrial spaces, whatever.
I really love their logo.
Yeah, Two Maids.
It's very catchy.
Yeah, it's very pink.
Well done.
Yeah. Brenda's very bright and sharp, a business person. Oh, well, I didn't mean it as a pun. I mean, she's just a very intelligent person, and I like talking with her because she really knows how to run a good business. But basically what they do is, as opposed to, a set fee or an hourly rate or whatever, they come and do the job, and you rate them, and their pay is based on that rate. And so, so that's a pretty good deal. So if you want to get a hold of that, 817-764-0733 or at twomaidscleaning.com/Burleson and set them up. I know there's a couple of buildings. I know that Gala uses them, and several other the businesses at Windmiller Building uses them.
Oh, okay.
And so, and they just rave about it. And 2 or 3 of the B&I people do it for their homes as well. So. Anyway, next one, another B&I friend, John Williams, 817-734-2756 with Old Pro Roofing. They've been around more than a minute. They're down in Old Town. And I like doing business with people that live in town, sorry, got something caught there, that are part of our community because they pay our taxes and they employ our people. So thank you to Old Pro Roofing. And John, hope you're doing well. I'll see you tomorrow. Also, another B&I friend, Candy Gow, and her partner, Sammy Campbell, over at Camco. They've been doing refinancing and mortgage brokering for at least 20 years. I know they've done mine twice. But Sammy is at 817-778-4592, and Candy is at 817-925-2661. And, the thing about them is that they really do good work because I don't know what's going on in the markets, all the interest rates and whatnot.
I don't think anybody knows what's going on in the markets.
But they have a pretty good handle on it. And I was there at their new location. It was before Christmas, between Christmas and Thanksgiving. And, and it just amazed me how on top of it you have to be because the rate's going up and down all day. And if, the rate you got that morning may have changed from in that afternoon. So you need somebody that knows what they're doing. Also, on Thursday, we're going to have Jessica Valley Reams on, and she's going to be talking about that Snowman Smash over at Lost Oak on Friday night, 6 to 10. It's a fundraiser for Fitability TX. We know what she does. She does really good work with the disabled. I went there right before Christmas to do a little clip for her on my phone. I mean, nothing like Taylor does, certainly.
Yeah.
And she was
Nobody can do it like Taylor.
No,
does it?
well, I'm a very, very much an amateur, and it shows. But it was just on the phone. But she was working with one of her clients, a young man, an autistic young man, and it was just really touched by it. And I was touched by how the young man responded to her. I mean, you could tell that they developed a relationship of trust, and it was really a great thing to watch. Speaking of before Christmas, I went to your Moretti's Oil during it.
Yeah.
That's a very nice place.
Yeah.
I like those kind of stores. I like to think of myself as an amateur chef. I do all the cooking in the house,
Yeah.
and I do most of the kitchen stuff and all the grocery shopping and all that. And I like to think, as far as like watching those shows, I really don't do that much. And I hate those reality shows where they're yelling and throwing things at each other. Gordon Ramsay having a spasm attack. But I like to experiment and cook, and I walk into your place and there's all these different oils on it, and imagine myself.
Yes.
And then but then reality hits.
Yeah.
I don't have time.
Yeah. That's the thing that I love about the oils and the balsamics is it really does take your ordinary meal to the next level. Like my kids and my mom are always like, oh my gosh, you make the best broccoli. And I'm like, I just use the butter infused oil and I saute it in that, and it changes the flavor of the broccoli. It gives it kind of a buttery flavor. And the oils are very healthy for you. They're very healthy fat.
I need to make another trip because I'm running out of ideas with chicken. I'm not a chicken fan.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a big chicken fan, but it's a lot less expensive than red meat. I mean, I'd eat steak 3 times a week if I could, and my cholesterol would let me. But hey, you got to find the budget somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, our Tuscan flavored olive oil is a very popular flavor.
That's another one. Robin made one the other day that was really, really good. But I was thinking, there's probably an oil there that does all this other stuff. Oh, turn this good. Well, anyway, I'm just rattling. Tell us what's going on at Crazy8.
Yeah, absolutely. New year. So we circle the horn, kind of start back up fresh with our fundraisers that we do every year. We moved our Ocho Loco, our 5K, to Burleson last year. And because of that move, we had it last fall, but we typically have the Ocho Loco every spring. So we are turning right around and having our Ocho Loco this March 16th. Again, we're having that here in the city of Burleson, and we're very excited about that. We've got quite a few sponsors already coming on board.
March 16th, that's the pub crawl day, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
All right. So it's good though because it's kind of synergy, as they call it.
Yeah, I mean, the pub crawl probably doesn't start at 8 a.m. So
I believe it starts at 2, so they can get up and work up their appetite. Or
work up their appetite and have your guiltless binge for the rest of the night because you ran a 5K in the morning. And for those people, we always, we also offer the little 1K run for the kids who come. I think we're working on potentially getting Spike from the Railroaders. A lot of times we have H.E. Buddy out there to run with the kids, so that's fun.
How about the high school mascots?
Oh, that would be a great idea. I wonder if Liz is probably listening. She'll probably make a comment about that. But that would be a great idea if we got like the high school mascots out there. It just makes it fun for the kids to come out and run.
I haven't seen Centennial. Do they have like a Spartan outfit?
Yeah, I think they do have a Spartan.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. I just remember the elk. But...
Yeah. I've never seen the elk mascot. So I'm very curious is it actually like an elk?
Yeah.
With his little hooves? I put my hands up like it's their hooves.
And your horns. And
I mean, it's not like a real elk that they bring out to the games, right?
Something like that. No. I'm sure PETA would be all over us if he had a live elk there.
So, you can come, you can run, you can support. And I tell people if you don't like to run, you can be a sleep-in supporter. And you'll still get your T-shirt, you'll get the pack. You can tell everybody you ran when you didn't, and so that's a way to support. Because of course, a lot of times people are like, "Well, I'm not a runner. I don't like to run." So we're like, "Well, if you still want to support us for $30, you can be a sleep-in supporter." So, and we do have quite a few people who sign up as a sleep-in supporter, and they get their shirt and they get their runner's pack just like they ran, and we enjoy that very much.
Do you have promotional advertising yet? Get sent to Taylor.
He can probably pull it right off our website, Taylor.
All
all of it's up there. And then I'm very excited about our City on a Hill this year. And the reason why I'm excited is because it is on May 4th this year. And so we are capitalizing on that, and we are having our first themed City on a Hill, and the theme is May the 4th be with you. And so we've kind of been shifting everything to, there you go, see Crazy, they got the runner sign up there. So we've been shifting everything to look like Star Wars, be a Star Wars theme. We were working on designing a T-shirt this morning that will say, City on a Hill, May the 4th be with you, in the Star Wars font. So we're very excited about that. We're going to theme everything kind of more in that black and yellow, that Star Wars theme. And then we're encouraging all of our vendors to kind of play the part with us, come dress up, dress up like Darth Vader. We're hoping our MC will dress up like Princess Leia, and we're waiting to confirm. I'm not going to announce that yet because we're waiting to confirm who is going to be our MC this year.
Is it somebody we know?
Yeah, it is somebody you know. And so we're excited about that. Again, just waiting for her to confirm. So there you see, we used to have the rainbow background, but now we've got the Star Wars theme coming in, and we're working on adding like "May the 4th be with you" to all of this. So I'm very excited. We were even talking today about the city comes and they bring the music, they bring the stage, and so we talked about even getting like a Star Wars soundtrack to them. So we're playing Star Wars in the background. We're working on, doing some DIY lightsabers and really just playing on the theme. So we're very excited about that.
Oh, I remember when I went last year, what I liked about it was the cars. It had those antique cars.
Yeah, so we'll have the cars again this year. Again, we've just kind of started. We just confirmed the date right before Christmas. So, which seems like forever ago, but when you have Christmas and everything else. So we're just tightening everything up, starting to circle the horn, get our sponsorship secured. If anybody's interested in sponsoring, we have all our sponsorship levels available. They're also on our website. Express Employment Professionals has always been our title sponsor, along with the city of Burleson, who is a supporter of the event as well. And so we're very excited about this year because of the theme. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, when it gets closer, we'll just put that in the rotation because it is a big deal. A lot of people know about it.
Yeah.
So,
I think the big deal and what I love about the event is that it's completely free. It's free to participate. It's free to attend, and all the activities are free. And while we do have some selling vendors there, your kid doesn't have to pay to ride on the train. They don't have to pay to ride on the rolly car. They don't have to pay to bounce in the bounce house. They don't have to pay to get into the petting zoo area. And so one of the things, obviously, part of the heart behind this was to bring onto the playing field all the different pillars of a community that we as a ministry work with, meaning the school district, your churches, your nonprofits, your government, and your businesses, bringing them all into one playing field where we can highlight and celebrate all the services that our community has to offer. But also from a woman who has 6 children and, going through those years where it was like money was very tight and looking for something to do with your family that your kids can participate in that is affordable. We go to a lot of festivals, a lot of fairs, and you have to pay to get in, and you have to pay for tickets, and you have to pay for, and then you have to pay for the food. And it's just like, we had 6 kids. We didn't do any of that stuff. We were like, go to McDonald's, I'm taking peanut butter and jelly at first season. I'm like, we didn't even, and so that's part of my heart. And also like, obviously with housing homeless people, looking for events and kind of create events that are just affordable, family friendly, fun, and free.
I know what you're talking about, though. It's hard for families, middle income or whatnot, to go like to the state fair or I don't know, stock show. Probably
we didn't go to that stuff. We just straight up didn't go.
I wanted to do that with my kids more often, and we did it like twice, and I still want to do it, but it seems like every time I get around to the state fair time or something like that, bills are there. But no, that's what I always liked about Six Flags. You walk, you pay, and you're in. You do what you want, right? At 3 times, for no different cost.
Yes.
But as far as this, it's a really good thing. Have you thought about bringing in like carnival rides? Because there's going to be one.
So the city did the carnival last year, right? And we did kind of, they're very expensive.
Oh, really? Okay.
Right. So yeah, you do have to pay for the rides to be brought in, those kinds of things. So that would be a whole nother level. I'm not opposed to it. But I think what we love about the event is everything that is there is local, right? So, and all the activities are brought by local businesses. And so, and we tell businesses to bring an event that makes sense to your business, right? You want it to make sense for you. So again, I had a meeting with the railroaders. They have one of those speed guns where you can measure the speed of your pitch, right?
No, I don't need that for it.
So that makes sense to them, right? Potentially bringing some players that will be doing autographs, those kinds of things. And so you want to bring something that makes sense to your business. Of course, the churches come in with a lot of really fun activities. We've had the Heights Church there with their train, giving kids rides there. Last year, they had the dunking booth as well. So that was a lot of fun. I think one of the hits last year was that roller cart. Did you remember seeing the car that was rolling? And again, these, so that activity in and of itself sells her business. And one of the things that I love about the event is we have gotten tremendous feedback from business who have been there as far as their return for being there. And of course, they're not paying anything to participate. So really all you have to do is probably pay an employee to be here. We get that. But we've had, we ask that question. We send out an evaluation afterwards, getting feedback from our vendors. We want to hear, what did you love about? What would you change? What, did you get any customers from this event? And 80 to 90% say yes, that they do get customers from the event. And so that makes my heart so happy because we really want to cultivate our community and shopping local. And so I think that's kind of what's kind of steered us away also from bringing in the big carnival events is now it's kind of an outside thing coming in. And we really feel like we have a tremendous amount of opportunities right here in our community. And we want to celebrate those.
It's, like at the farmers market, you have a lot of independent businesses, little small garage businesses, if you will. And that's what I noticed also you had, that, crafts, clothing, food samples, whatever else. On the food samples, they have to get it approved by the city or anything. And that's what I thought. Doggone them.
Yeah, I mean, health inspection. I mean, it's for our health. So we have to do that too for Moretti's. We're okay with it.
I know. I'm sure at the farmers market, you go there and there's bread and there's those tamales are great.
Yeah. It's a lot of good stuff at the farmer's market.
And I believe they're opening up in early April again. And that's like one of the best things. That's one of the good things. In the springtime in particular in Burleson, before it gets blazing hot out here, we got a lot of stuff going on. I know the people over at Next Step have their Walk for Life, I believe, the week prior. But I'm just guessing on that. I know it's
what I can tell you is Next Step, Harvest House, Center for ASD, Crazy8 Ministries, Meals on Wheels, even with Rotary this year, because we ran into the same day with them with our golf tournament. We have all shared our schedule for the year, and we are all very intentional not to bump into each other because we all understand donor fatigue and that we're all kind of pulling from the same people. And so we try to not, schedule something on the same day that somebody else has something.
Well, I messaged Megan as we were having this conversation and over at Next Step, and she says her event's April 20th. So it's about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
All right. So that's a big deal. So, I like the way y'all try to work it out because it's like you got these conflicting things going on, and they're both great causes. Which one am I going to be able to pay attention to?
And we do find that the community is very supportive, and they do want to be a part of a little bit of everything that is going on in our community and a lot of the social services, and so. We want to make that available for them too. So it's respect for each other, but it's also, again, just creating more opportunities for our community to be a part of our missions.
I would imagine almost every weekend in the spring it's going to have something going on. There's besides the nonprofits, the chamber has something coming up in about 3 weeks.
Yeah, April 5th?
No. They're talking about their business expo.
Oh, the business expo is February something. 24th, yes.
Next week, Alyssa Miller will be on, and we'll talk about that. And so, but they also have their events, and then, of course, they are planning to bring back the carnival on Memorial Day weekend and coincide with the Chamber's Honey Tour. And so,
which was a great event.
Oh, it was one of the best.
I thought it was a great event.
It really was interesting because I'd never seen that in Burleson before.
No, I hadn't either, and I loved it. Nonetheless, it cost money.
Yes,
to ride rides.
Well, it did. But...
No, you didn't have to pay to get in.
Right.
But so for somebody like me, where I'm perfectly happy to just walk around, interact with people, shocker of all shockers, but my daughter did manage to drag me on a few of the spinny rides, and I'm still regretting it today.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm not as young as I used to be.
Do they make you buy tickets and you do it that way?
Yeah, so you buy tickets and all that stuff.
And it ain't one ticket a ride, is it?
No, there are multiple tickets. Yeah. And that's okay. I don't want to slam the event because that's amazing. But again, I love the fact that City on a Hill is completely free.
Well, and you always find I don't know, pressure is maybe not the word, but incentive maybe to try to differentiate them every year.
Yeah.
You know, like you're doing with the Star Wars theme. Where do you get most of your vendors? I mean, you just contact them themselves, or do you get people?
Honestly, we have people already contacting us this year that are like, when is City on a Hill? And I make sure I have it on my calendar. Trinity Chiropractic has already called us.
Oh yeah, I met the doctor there. Yes.
Jason's an amazing person. He's putting a team in for our Ocho Loco. So he kind of rallies up some patients to just kind of run with them, and he puts on a Trinity Chiropractic shirt. It's a great way to kind of put on, and
I know.
so
little free advertising.
yeah. I mean, capitalize on our events. Absolutely.
No, sure. That's a good thing, because people think, oh, they're just doing it for the publicity. Well,
Sure.
Yeah, they are. They like to be known as a supporter of these events.
Well, and Dr. Dias is supportive in other ways as well. He has serviced a couple of our residents here or there for us, so he's a supporter in general. But our vendors, they're already reaching out to us and saying, "Do you have your date already this year? We want to make sure we have it on the calendar." And especially your smaller mom and pops, because again, so I'll just use Moretti's as an example. If I'm involved in farmers market, now farmers market is very affordable to be involved as well, but I have to pay 2 sets of staff for that day. I have to pay for one to manage my store, and I have to pay for one to be at farmers market, and then I have to pay to be involved in farmers market. And again, super affordable event for us to be at. But not all our community events are that cheap to partake in. And so, you paid a vendor somewhere, and then you have to pay an employee to be there while you're also paying employees to be in the store. And that's difficult for mom and pops. And so that's one of the things why I am a hard believer in making sure this vendorship is free, which is why we love the city supporting the event, our local businesses supporting the event with the sponsorship, is it's really giving those smaller businesses the opportunity to showcase what they offer and what they do for our community, as well as the bigger ones.
What are the parameters for a vendor? What if you had like 4 candle makers?
Nope. Anybody can come, and we tell them that this is not a competitive. You can, and everybody picks their own vendor spot. So it's really first come, first serve. So when you get there earlier, most people, we kind of stack them from the stage out. And of course, we do reserve a couple spaces for those sponsors, but otherwise we just tell them to spread out. If you're a candle maker and there's another candle maker there, spread out. But we put all that in because they're not paying to come. So you don't have to come, you're not paying. And we let them know that we do not limit to 1 or 2 particular kinds of service. So we do communicate that up front. And so that's the risk that you take to still have that facing with your community.
Well, it's a low risk thing if you're not putting a lot of money into it.
You're not putting any money into it other than what you've put in for your products. Right.
And Chaz Forster does try to keep it varied at farmers market. And he has waiting lists, for it.
Yes.
And he if it's up to him, he'd like to expand it out further, but.
And that's a super affordable event too. Yeah,
but
it really is.
He wants to protect those vendors, because make it worth their money or whatever. So you want to have 4 tamale shops, which you only need that one anyway. But
yeah, the only thing we are a little bit particular about is about our food trucks, because we don't want to have like all dessert trucks. We do try and get a variety. I think last year we had Old South, Pancake House was there. And I'm trying to think of some of the others, which is totally eluding my mind at this point. But we do try and offer a variety of food trucks. We're not going to have 2 or 3 pizza trucks out there,
Yeah. Well, I can also recommend a mother and daughter combination. I had right after Christmas. They're a bar service, but it doesn't necessarily mean alcohol.
Right.
Mixie Chicks, they're called.
Yeah. Okay.
And they could provide, you provide whatever you want them to make, and they can make all these different kinds of syrups and sodas and whatever else. And so they don't.
Send them to our website. Tell them to check us out for sure.
I'll let them know, because they could come there and do their thing and whatnot. But so I just like to support them as well, because they're trying to get off the ground.
Yeah.
They do stuff. I think they've been involved with a couple of those movie nights or events. Yeah. Down in the I keep saying Mayor Vera Calvin Plaza. It's a mouthful.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I still say Old Town, so you're better than I am.
I just say Plaza. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. But that'd be somebody I would send to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And anybody listening, I mean, if you have ideas, if you have people, like we love having new vendors. We love having old vendors. So really, we like the event to be all inclusive.
I don't remember seeing a lot of like established retail outlets at that place at your event last May. Most of them I saw were, like we're talking about, mom and pops, or they maybe or consignment sales of clothing or whatever. But would you accept somebody, say, like, from an established business?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Something like Wild Cigar, I guess.
Yes. Well, we've invited Wild Cigar. We'd love to have them there. Now, they have to keep in mind that they're on school property. So
they wouldn't bring any alcohol. Wild
so
Cigar.
You can't smoke or...
Well, the thing about it is they're known mostly for the cigars. I mean, they have a really nice bar, but they do primarily cigar business.
Yeah, they would absolutely be welcome. We would love to have them.
Or
absolutely.
Southern Gem.
Southern Gem, love it. Would love to have them. Again, something, somebody like that, like a Southern Gem, you put together a nice little game with a pinwheel where they spin the wheel and they can win up to 50% off an item in their shop, right? So, or something like that. You have the 150% slot and the 10%, 20. And again, the idea is you want to do something that makes sense to your business, but also kind of brings customers back into your business.
Right. You also probably just have people to set up with the stand there. They're not necessarily selling their product, but they may be advertising it. So,
and we have a lot of people who show up that are basically just bringing an awareness of their services. So we have a lot of that there. So we have Texas Health Hughley is there. We have Care Now is coming. We've had Carter Blood there, done blood drives in the past. So we have a lot of organizations that come, a lot of our sister nonprofits that come, and it's again.
There was a couple I remember seeing there. Was Next Step there last year?
Next Step was there last year.
Yes, that's what I thought. There was one other. Harvest House, were they
Harvest
there?
House was not there last year.
Well,
again,
we'll get them on this time. We'll talk to her.
So we in sisterhood, it's hard to find volunteers that are going to volunteer their time on a Saturday, and a lot of our staff is fatigued. And so, if you don't have a particular person that is specifically for outreach, sometimes it's hard to be in 300 places at once.
Yes, I can imagine. And I remember back in September when we had all you ladies on and we had that special show, and I was listening to y'all talk, sitting around the couch and talking. I was just marveling at just, where do you get your energy? I mean, where do you because some days I bet you're lying there in bed say, I don't feel like being noble today. I don't feel like being,
trying to shake free of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, right. So, and, tomorrow, let somebody else do it, that kind of thing. You ever get like that?
No, not really.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I really do. Like, I was talking to my staff today. They were like, when do you leave for France? And I said, next week. They said, are you excited? And I said, I will be excited when they get there. And like, you're not excited to go? And I was like, I really like my job. And so I love going and I love being there, but I also really miss working because it's not work for me. Like, I love what I do and I get a lot of energy from it. Yeah. And so it's a thrill to me. So I hear me. I'm excited about going to France, and I will have a great time there. But it's not like I'm like, oh God, I need a break. I just really don't. At this point, I have not really ever experienced a whole lot. Now I've had some frustrating seasons, mostly around funding, of course. But as far as just that service fatigue, I have not experienced that to some of the degrees that some other people have experienced it, and that's okay. I'm not saying I won't ever experience it. I just really love my job.
Well, I was talking to a couple of your peers, and it wasn't so much the job itself; it's all the stuff in their lives that were going on.
Yeah.
On top of their jobs.
Yeah.
I remember poor Jennifer Woods over at Harvest House. She had so many things going on with her family.
With her family.
Stepmother died, her father died, and all that. And then Debbie Beeman's, you got a sister she's taking care of, so that's it impacts your energy.
Yeah.
And it just, that's what it'd be tough. And when my last 2-3 years of teaching school, I'd lie there in the morning about 6:30 and go, somebody else could teach those kids. Put in a movie, whatever. But no, it's you get up and you do your job, and it's like once you're there, it's all good. Because I teach this night class, and sometimes I'd rather just watch basketball. I don't want to, but whatever. But
that never comes into my head. Not once.
Well, it's college basketball season, so but I get up and go over there, and it's like turn on the lights and off you go. And it's fine. I just got to get there sometimes. It's I don't know. Of course, I've been doing it so long. It's like an actor on the stage sometimes. So I just give me my lines, show me where I need to stand, whatever. But as far as Crazy8 itself. What's going on over at the ministry?
Yeah, so I'm so glad you asked. We graduated 5 residents last year at the end of 2023. So we are in the process of interviewing and moving new residents in. And that's always a discovery process for us, right? Because, you interview somebody, you bring them in, but then there's still that just discovery process of really uncovering what are the needs of this individual. And so that's very exciting for us to see residents. And by graduate, I mean, they moved into the 3rd year. And so they're still living on our properties. They've just moved from the first phase and now are in that final phase. And so we're very excited about that. They are thriving. The ones who moved out, absolutely amazing, doing a phenomenal job. And we bring them to a lot of our events. So if you come to our events, you'll see them there. You can meet them. They love to make themselves available to share a little bit more about their story. I think last time I was on here, I brought a resident who shared her story, and she did a phenomenal job, still with us as well. But that bringing in new residents is always a fun process, and watching how they're going to mesh in with the existing residents, just like anything else, right? You're kind of bringing in a new student into your classroom and watching how they fit in and who's going to embrace them and who's matured beyond all the catty, behavior and is going to really welcome them and bring them in.
That's a good observation, because that's what I did when a new student came in. I would notice not so much how they would act, but how would people react to them, and who would be the first ones to reach out to him or her and invite them to sit at the lunch table and that kind of stuff.
Yes. Yeah, and it is very telling. It shows us where our natural leaders are. And so that's always fun to watch. That process is fun to watch. Of course, we hired a new housing director last year. Paige had been with us, I think, 5-7 years. I'm so sorry, Paige, that I'm getting it wrong. But she moved on. She actually got her LPC and wanted to start her own practice in counseling, which is a conflict. So she couldn't do both. And so we brought on Stephanie Ray, who's been a case manager for us for 5 or 6 years, and she stepped into that housing director position. And she is what I call a now employee for this season, and she's been such a perfect fit. And she was already a part of our family, but she's been such a perfect fit, and she's got such just a very calm, even-tempered, consistent demeanor, which is so important with the residents and really so important with the case managers and the counselors who struggle with frustration, feeling like I'm a failure. I'm not getting anywhere with this resident. And you got to have that right person in that position who also understands the balance between grace and truth. When is it time to give grace to a resident, and when is it time to write them up? And that's a difficult spot. And so I really love Stephanie. I love the way she's managing her team. I love some of the new ideas she's brought to the table. I love the way she's kind of simplified some of our processes and has streamlined some things. So that's kind of still a new thing for me. And it has been a phenomenal new beginning for us with her coming in. And so that's been great. And so this is kind of her first time really walking through, bringing in, interviewing and bringing in new residents. And so it's been exciting to watch how she handles those interviews and how she navigates them and how she really very intentionally prays about every single interaction she has with every resident. And so it's really a beautiful thing to watch. And I just am very excited about things and how the success that we're having with our residents. And some of it, you have heats of residents, and there have been times where like, oh my gosh, we have a really challenging heat of residents right now. And I think while every resident comes with their challenge, we really just have a beautiful culture. And, last time when I was here, we talked a little bit with Jessica, who lives on our singles campus, and 3 of our residents that graduated moved out of singles, and we're bringing new singles in. And it's been fun to watch them kind of hold the line on that culture. Like we are family here. We treat each other like family. We talk encouraging to each other. We pray with one another. And it is phenomenal when you create an environment where people can step into that level of spirituality, how hungry people are for that. And so it's just really fun to watch. Again, I obviously I love my job. We've had a heat of, November, December, surprisingly, usually our counseling applications kind of dip down a little bit. People are busy. for the holidays. And then usually in January, we see an influx of people applying for counseling. And we have seen that again this year. So we have a huge influx of counseling, people coming in for counseling needs. And Angela is my counseling director, and she does a phenomenal job navigating every single application that comes in, giving that applicant a call, finding out exactly what their needs are, then basically assigning them to a counselor and making sure that the counselor has called them in a timely manner and that the counselor has devoted that counseling service to them as well. So we're doing it. We're kicking it from 2024, and we love what we do. So that's really what's new.
Now, do you have to be a resident to take part in the counseling?
No, it's free to the community.
Are you familiar with the Victim Assistance Program at Burleson PD? Okay, Colin Gregory and Stephanie Beard have been on here twice, and Colin's going to be on there next week to talk about other aspects of Burleson PD.
Right.
But I thought that was fantastic.
Yes, and those signs are genius. Where they're hanging them are genius. I think it's been phenomenal. We've already seen some results from those signs as well, so that's been good.
Your clients would be the type of people that would make access of these type of programs?
Probably our counseling would, yes. Our residents are typically not currently in a domestic violence situation because we refer those out to Johnson County Crisis Center or to One Safe Place. They have more of the security. They are more adept to that beast.
Yeah.
And so we are a great next step for somebody who's been in domestic violence, has gone through all the legalities. They are completely safe. Their perpetrator is potentially behind bars, and now they want to rebuild their life. That's where Crazy8 is a great next step for them.
I see. And I just thought that was incredible that we have a community that does that. And so we're getting more and more coordinated with our public and non-public services.
Yes.
And I think Colin and Stephanie do fantastic.
Yes.
I was not aware of this until really Colin Gregory brought it up. And, I knew, and then I found out we've had this program for about 5 years now.
Yes.
But now we're really amping the game up, so to speak. And so, and it doesn't bother me one iota that if Burleson becomes a town where if you transgress in this manner, you got a real problem. If you abuse your wife or children or your husband, if that's the case, you're going to have a real problem on your hands. It's not going to be overlooked or whatnot. And it's interesting because yesterday I'm talking to a potential, he is a candidate for Johnson County District Attorney. And he talks about some of the cases he was involved in, and a lot of them deal with domestic violence and whatever else. How often do you have to involve law enforcement in your situations?
Not often.
Not often?
Not often.
Okay.
If somebody comes, so that's part of that. So for our counseling, that's part of that vetting process when they put an application in, when Angela calls them. Now we have occasionally, I used this example yesterday. I was in a counseling room once and I had a woman say, so does the Bible really say that the husband can do whatever he wants with the wife's body? And that's a red flag.
Yes, that is.
And so, I'm gonna report that. That's where we partner with One Safe Place. Had them come down and do basically a safety assessment, a danger assessment on that individual, and sure enough, found out. They specialize in that verbiage and those kinds of things. And so for us, when we have a red flag like that, our counselors are trained to come back to Angela and I, and we will take the next step or bring in the experts. So we certainly don't sweep it under the carpet, but we also don't pretend to be the experts in that field when we're not. We definitely are experts in catching those red flags. That doesn't take a genius to know that's not normal to ask that question.
Well, as a teacher, you almost had to be a detective in certain situations because, if you notice certain changes in behavior or physical marks, I couldn't just say, well, I'm not going to get involved, but not only because it was the law that I get involved, but it was like as the right thing to do, right? And my experience was most of the kids were very reluctant to talk about it. Is that your experience as well?
Yes. It is interesting. And a lot of people ask us if we're mandated reporters. And I'm like, you are a mandate. We are all, as an American citizen, you are a mandated reporter. If you see your neighbor beating their children, you are mandated to report that. And so, we have made our reports, and we've had to make some reports on our own residents based on things we've seen. And that's hard. But we first of all follow the law, and second of all, we want to protect those children, and so those are difficult moments for us. And but we've had to do the right thing.
I was a mandated reporter, as you put it, but it wasn't something I felt like I was compelled by law.
No,
But
yes.
it-
I mean,
but-
so
but
you're
it was
compelled by
convenient.
morality to do it, right?
That's exactly right. But it also did help that when I told the kids,
Yes.
and they didn't want me to say anything,
Yes.
I knew I should. And that, but I could always say, well, I have to.
Well, and that's the approach we take with residents. Like, hey, these are things really, if CPS were to come into here, these would be red flags for them. And so we would like to work with you, come alongside you. And so we usually are like, and we have a very close relationship with CPS where a lot of times we will call and seek counsel and advice. And because they know they're a little bit living in a fishbowl, right? And so sometimes it's not as simple as, oh, you reached up, grabbed a pan and hit your kid over the head with it. It's other things like, your daughter consistently doesn't wear panties out into the community area and lifts her dress up and shows the other kids her. So those are not as simple, right?
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, and
Wow.
your daughter's 3 or 4, but it's nonetheless it's a sign of something maybe in the past there that maybe would alert us to potentially a bigger issue there. So it's not, I mean, like, so when we're talking about reporting to CPS, I wish it were that simple that, oh, you hit your kid over the head with a pan. It's not usually that simple, or it's you've continuously left your child unsupervised while you've gone out for 20 minutes to smoke a cigarette. So those are the things more that we're
Neglect more than abuse.
100%.
Right. Yeah.
And so the water gets really muddy, and also we love these residents, and we know that there's sometimes just not a knowing of what's right and what's wrong. And so we really appreciate our partnership with CPS that we can make that phone call and say, hey, look, we have a resident. This is what we're noticing. What do you advise? Like, what do we do here? We don't want to report them if we don't have to. And CPS doesn't want us to report them either if we don't have to. They're for, in general, we are for unification. I think everybody's for unification. And we work with CPS to reunify families. But we do have those sticky moments where I am not opposed at all to seeking counsel or advice from the powers that be and for people who are experts in that area.
Well, I guess it's been more on my mind the last 2-3 weeks because it seems like I've had 3 guests that are involved in some indirect manner with what we're talking about here. Colin and Stephanie Beard, and then yesterday, Mr. Good, the attorney candidate, talking about some of this, and also I've had some comments, from CASA volunteers, and it just seems like I just wonder sometimes, is it getting more and more prevalent, or we just notice it more and are more proactive about it?
Yeah. I mean, I think I don't have an answer for that.
Yeah.
I think it's a great question. I know for me personally in my field, obviously I'm exposed to it a lot more than I would like to be. But we had this conversation yesterday regarding students who are truant, because we're working with,
Yes.
a juvenile case manager who has kids who are truant that are mandated to seek counseling. And again, that's a challenge for the family when they can't afford counseling. Well, Crazy8 doesn't charge. And so we're developing a partnership in regard to that. But, I like to ask the bigger questions, which is like, obviously now the court goes after the parents when a kiddo is truant. And it's just it's a big mess.
What it is.
I mean, the court's doing the best they can do, and I'm like, we want to be a part of the solution. We would love to assist you in any form or fashion. Absolutely, we would love to be that referral for you because we are free. But just walking around the car, kicking the tires, asking ideas like what would it look like for us to do, a group of kids, like if you have 15 or 20 kids who are truant, what's the deeper issue here?
There's so many. I read it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally talking your language now.
Well, I read an article about it. They had a big article in the Post last week about national truancy as about 1 in 3, or about 30%.
Especially since COVID.
Right, especially since COVID. About 30% of America's students are considered to be chronically truant, which is like at least like 1 or 2 absences a month. And I thought, I had kids I didn't see but once or twice a month, but that wasn't very common. So I'm not saying that's what's happening in Burleson specifically, but nationwide truancy is a big deal.
Yeah, it really is.
And it used to be a misdemeanor that applied to the kids and to the parents.
Now it's just the parents.
Just the parents. And I mean, I had several kids that had ankle monitors on because Judge Monk put them on them.
Yeah. Love me some Judge Monk.
Yeah.
So to your point, that is also a sticky situation when we have a 6, 7, 8-year-old that we notice mom's sleeping in, not taking our kids to school, where we have to step in and go, hey, you have to take your kids to school. Like, you don't have a choice. You have to get up. You have to get out of bed. At what point do we report that? You know, and so again, our situations are not always cut and dry. I wish they were. In fact, they're almost never cut and dry, which is the beauty of that relationship with God. You know, it takes us continuously back to the presence of God and saying, what is the best way to handle this situation with this person and her challenges and that child's challenges? And so there's just not a handbook for every issue that we deal with. And that's part of what I love about my job is it's you have to be very creative. And you have to be very intentional to to establish that relationship and hear that person out and gain an understanding of what's going on with the resident and why aren't you getting up out of bed? What is going on? You know, why don't you feel well? Why are you depressed? And trying to get those underlying issues as to, it's not just about waking you up every day and getting your kid to school. I want to know why you can't wake up when your alarm goes off. What's going on, you know? And so everything is an opportunity for a conversation, and that's kind of how we approach everything with our residents.
A while back when you were here before, you talked about you had some appliance needs, physical needs.
Yes.
You still have those?
Always.
Well, what do you need?
We always need washers, dryers, refrigerators. We have quite a few service projects actually right now that we have need of. We need to replace all of our doors. In our family campus, the doors are old, they're metal. They used to have the hotel system on them, the card system. And so you can't replace the doorknobs. And so none of the doors shut.
Oh, no.
And so we really need to replace all those, but it's not a simple replacing because the size of the frame is very unique. They're only 2 hinged instead of 3 hinged. And so, you know, it's probably $500, $600, $700 a door to replace those. And you're talking 14 doors. So, you know, if anybody's interested in sponsoring a door,
put their name on it, little plaque.
Let us know.
It's like a Dallas Baptist.
Yeah, I'll put your name on it. I don't care.
Dallas Baptist, this is a so-and-so window. This is a so-and-so window blinds. You know, it's, I mean, you give them $10, you'll get your name somewhere. Stuck.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, and right now we've just kind of started some conversations with Midday Rotary Club in Burleson about redoing our pantry floor. We need our pantry floor redone. But yeah, we always have need for appliances because we have so many. The odds of one breaking down once a month or so is very high. And so we like to have some on hand. We have a giant Connex storage building where we keep appliances that have been donated. But yeah, we always have need for appliances.
Well, I'm just thinking, you know, I know of somebody who might, but I know one thing right now, she would have trouble getting it to you.
Yeah, so we do have a pickup day.
Okay.
So we would come and pick that up. So.
Well, I'll ask her about it. This just came to mind.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just wondered if you still had those issues. You know, and there's a couple of people that I know that could probably come and check out other things for you and do it basically because it's the right thing to do kind of thing. Yeah. You know, like I have a B&I member at Air Serve, and you know, if your heaters need inspected, he can do that for you. And I don't know where it goes from there, but I'm just saying that's the kind of people I run around with. Is people said, we'll go do that. You know, or what kind of roofs do you have?
What kind of what?
Roofs. Shingle roofs?
Yes.
Oh, okay, then see.
We do have one metal. We have a couple of metal roofs. That's why I paused. But yes.
Well, see, and I just know somebody that would probably come out and take a look.
Yeah,
you know, and
absolutely.
And then if there needs repairs, and then that's up to y'all to negotiate. But both these gentlemen I'm referring to, Tanner Scarborough over at Air Serve and John Williams at OPRO, they won't upsell you.
Yeah.
They'll say this is what it is, good, bad, or indifferent. And So I could trust them. I'll mention it to them tomorrow at the meeting. Sure.
And for any other businesses that are listening, we do look for businesses every month that are interested in doing product drives for us. And so usually we narrow it down to like the 2 or 3 products that we're in need of. It's usually going to be like laundry detergent, cleaning agents, toilet paper, paper towels, the things that our residents cannot get with food stamps. We do not need food. We have so much food. It's unbelievable. Over-the-counter medications, child's fever reducer, those kinds of things they cannot get with their food stamps. And so we go through
you can't get average over-the-counter medicine with food stamps.
Food.
Well, I understand that, I guess.
You can buy cigarettes, but you can't get.
Holy moly. so you can buy stuff to get you sick, but
Correct.
not get you well. I get
Correct.
it. What a government.
Yeah. But so those are the kinds of things. Obviously, we go through a lot of toilet paper. We have over 50 residents that we're providing toilet paper for. So we go through a lot of toilet paper. We go through a lot of laundry detergent. We go through a lot of bed bug covers, a lot of mattress bed bug covers, pillow bed bug covers. We go through a lot of those. So if any business is interested in doing a product drive, we would have that conversation with them, find out what is our current need, and we would narrow it down to like 2 or 3 products.
It's interesting because, Jennifer and Megan and Debbie Beeman and, all your peers, they say, the food usually takes care of itself, because a lot of people think of those as food pantries. And so people, they don't think about toiletries.
No, toiletries, we go through
dishwashing
like crazy.
Soap or
hand washing soap, hand sanitizer, hand sanitizing wipes, napkins, paper towels. We go through all of that so fast because we have, at one campus, we have 14 children.
Can I make a suggestion, though?
Yes.
I'm kind of volunteering somebody else on your behalf, but Chaz Force is really good about this kind of stuff. Have you ever thought about having a special day at the farmer's market and just say, we're going to have a box set up, come by and drop off, No,
I think that's a great idea. And I think there's an idea for that beyond just Crazy8 Ministries in there. I think he could, we're all telling you what you need to do, Chaz, but I think that's a great idea to do like a charity day, like where you highlight a charity for a particular day.
He's really good about this.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Not only because, he's a decent person, but he also, it feels like it's his civic duty. So Chaz, if you hear this, I just volunteered so be
Give
aware.
me a call, Chaz.
Yeah, all right.
Yes, we do have, I don't know if we have an Amazon wish list out right now. I know when you give to Amazon, you can donate to Crazy8 Ministries. But I don't know that we have an ongoing Amazon wish list. When we're doing like when we're opening up a new home, when we're doing a room sponsorship, a lot of times we have Amazon wish lists for that. But Sherry, I think that's a great idea for us to have an ongoing Amazon wish list, and I will definitely take that back to my team for sure.
Well, there's so many public events that chamber sponsors, the city sponsors, not just the farmers market, but all this other stuff. You're a member of the Chamber of Commerce, right?
I actually serve on the board.
Right, that's what I thought. I remember you're on the board. You're a big wheel there. Maybe you ought to have a box there at your expo. Advertise that. Say, hey, we're going to be at the Burleson Expo doing our thing, and if you want to come by and drop off a package of big old Sam's size package of paper towels, well, we'll go ahead and take them off your hands. Well, you're
Yep, see, that's Liz.
Yeah, Liz responded.
Liz said we do have an Amazon wish list. There it is. I know we've had some on and off in the past. I didn't know if it was ongoing, but Sherry, she has put the link there for you. Big shout out to Liz, who's always behind the scenes.
And from Disney World, I just saw her photos.
Yeah, she's back now. Thank God.
She's back. Yeah, the whole place just shut down when she went to Disney World.
Yeah, well, I felt like it. I feel a little bit handicapped when she's not around, and but yeah, she is back and she's kicking it like she always does.
Yeah, she always does, and she always did.
Yes,
she and her sister both are real special students of mine. Well, we got a couple minutes left. Tell us, I guess, reiterate about your Crazy8 walk for life, whatever you want to call it.
The Ocho Loco?
Yeah, that's I was thinking Ocho Loco is what I was thinking.
Yeah, so that'll go back. Thank you, Sherry, for your donation. We appreciate it. Did you put anything up there from Ocho Loco, Taylor? Up on the...
Give me 1 second, I'm pulling it.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Oh, by the way, speaking
of Taylor,
we're talking. I got a message here from Megan. I'm going to intrude on your time. Their event is at Bailey's Lake on the 20th, and they're going to be on the show a little bit before that. We're working out a date, so like I said, we got all these things going on.
Yeah. So here it is, our Ocho Loco, which is the Crazy8, and it's our 5K walk and fun run Saturday, March 16th, starting at Chisenhall Field Sports Complex here in Burleson, Texas. And of course, all of those proceeds go to our mission at Crazy8 Ministries.
Well, I hope, you really got me intrigued about this product drive. If you ever, get something organized, which knowing you and knowing Liz, it will be soon, let us know here on the show, and Taylor and I will get it up there and whatnot, because I really think that's something that...
and so I know Liz is listening, but we always have, almost every month there's a different business that's doing a drive for us, and it would be great if you were willing to give that business a shout out.
I'd be more than glad to. I know like City Market does a lot of stuff with the Next Step, and so I always want to make sure that the community knows the service they're providing.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's all about. I really think that when people, stop and take a look at what's going on in this community, we really are pretty fortunate because we have a lot of these businesses and a lot of these organizations that really make it work. But it's interesting you brought up the products because at one of the last BNI meetings, we have somebody from Center for ASD as a member, and she's asked, we need paper towels like you wouldn't believe because we go through those like that.
Yep.
Paper towels, hand sanitizers, and all this other stuff. So,
Yep.
All right. Well, anyway, it was great talking to you again.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for having me on.
We'll get you closer to your date to your event in May. We'll get you on again, of course. And of course, have good.
Maybe you'll
good
get
time with
Liz.
friends.
Maybe Liz and I will dress up.
Oh, maybe so. Liz apparently is really shy, she says, but I don't. Yeah.
She's coming out of her shell quite a bit over the years.
Yeah. Well, so when do you leave for France?
We leave next Wednesday,
And you'll be back
the 2 weeks after Wednesday.
2 weeks in France.
Oh, it sounds painful, doesn't it?
I'd come back in a body bag if I went there for 2 weeks.
Taylor.
I know France. I don't know. Scotland or Ireland I could do, but I don't know.
Well, we'll be moving around.
Okay, well, good for you. Well, take care. And
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. And
Thank you for
what
having
do.
us. Yep.
Taylor, stay out of trouble. I'll see you. We're going to have Jessica Valley Reams with Texability. Texability, what am I saying? Fitability TX. Jessica Valley Reams with her event coming up. So we'll see you Thursday.